Hey, this is Dean. So after my last video on the Hori Split Pad Pro, I received a ton of questions about this. And it was an initial review, so I didn't have much time with it. I had literally just got home from the store. So now that I've had some time with it and I've gone through all the questions on that last video, I'm putting it into video form, even though I answered every single one in text form. I think it's nice to kind of see the answers being done in a video form, so visually. So first thing, and this was the first comment I got, was that I mispronounced the name, which I did. I had said machine or Demon Ex Machina, and it is Damon Ex Machina. So I apologize for that. I just misread it. So second was a comment saying that it is not a pro controller, that it's neither a pro or a controller. So first, the issue about the name Pro. So this is actually called the Hori Split Pad Pro in the western part of the world. So that was why I called it the Pro. And then as for controller, Hori actually, in Japanese right here, this says controller. So they call it a controller. The Western site doesn't really say controller, but it doesn't say Joy-Con. I think because it's such a hybrid that it's not a Joy-Con, because that's a Nintendo product, and it's not really a controller because it's split in half. It's like controllers. So, but they call it a Pro and, you know, kind of a controller. So that's why I called it that. And I'm going to continue to call this controller, and I'll call these Joy-Cons for the video so it doesn't get confusing on what we're talking about here. Okay, so first thing, and I think the most important, is battery life. So the first thing I got asked was, is it draining the battery life in standby? So I left it off the dock overnight, and it went from 100% down to 99% in 8 hours with Wi-Fi on. So it lost the 1%, and that is absolutely normal. That's what it's going to lose normally anyway. So that's great. It's not draining power. Next, I tested in Zelda. Breath of the Wild, so the same place where I was in the volcano. There's kind of a lot going on graphics-wise, and it lost 28% per hour of gameplay. That's with max brightness, max volume, and Wi-Fi on. So that's exactly the same as what you get with Joy-Cons. It comes up to about 3.5 hours of gameplay. So that's cool. So it's not losing any battery. It's not draining. So the next is there any input lag? So I should have done this last time, but as you see, it goes through. It's responsive. Whenever you push, you get it immediately. So, yeah, there is no input lag from it. All right, so then I got asked about the gyros. So it does not have gyros in it. And if you, it won't use the gyro that's inside the Switch either. I think because when these are connected, the Switch automatically goes to the controller or Joy-Cons. So it thinks that it's going to use these ones, but they don't have it. So I got asked a little bit of a weird question, but they were asked if you could use a right Joy-Con with the Split Pad Pro if you would get gyro. And as you can see, you do. So you could use it in this form. I think that kind of goes against having this, but you would have the gyro if you wanted it. Okay, so the next thing was about rumble. So it does not have rumble. It doesn't have vibration of any sort. So all the extra features of the Joy-Con have been removed. So it doesn't have NFC. It doesn't have the IR. It doesn't have the HD rumble. It is just a controller with the turbo and then the back buttons. So besides that, there's no other features per se. So then I was asked about the sticks. Are they comfortable? And I should have went over this last video, but as you see, these sticks are quite a lot larger. Obviously, the Joy-Con sticks are tiny. And they have a nice concave to them, and they are rubberized. So they are very comfortable. In the last video, my thumb was kind of pushed up. It's because I was holding it vertical. So I decided in this video I'm going to hold it more horizontal, which is where you'd hold it. And it is really comfortable. I got asked about Control Freaks, if they would fit on. The PlayStation 4 ones fit on, but they're a bit tight. You kind of have to push it on, and this rubber flexes a little bit. And the Xbox ones wouldn't fit on because the sticks are smaller in size. So then the back buttons, I called them paddles by accident, which is another thing I apologize. They are buttons. I got asked if they're easy to accidentally push, and they're not, because your fingers kind of rest right here, so you kind of curl them in a little bit to push these buttons. So you wouldn't accidentally push them unless you kind of had your hands in kind of like a weird curl, but you still wouldn't, because you have to like push in. So you wouldn't accidentally push them whatsoever. Finally, I got asked if you can wake the Switch up using the Split Pad Pro. And you cannot. So you have to press the power button, and then you can wake it up from there. So the buttons, everything is like a soft tactile. If you can hear, they have a little click to them, but it's not, I don't know, it's not like a hard click that you can feel, but it's not like mushy feeling. So they feel really nice. And then the triggers or bumpers, they're a little bit softer. And then these have that same kind of soft click to them. Yeah, so from my first impressions of this, and I've used it for a couple hours, and everything feels great. I absolutely love it. I think the Joy-Cons are too small. Personally, I'm not sure whose hands they fit. Maybe some little kids, but it seems like the Switch wasn't really marketed for kids. So this looks awkward. I kind of said in the last one because it's so big and bulky. However, it is really comfortable. So, oh, one last thing too. Kotaku, in their review of this controller, said good luck trying to get it to fit into a dock. And I went over this last video, and I thought it was a little bit weird. I don't know why they said that, because fits right into a dock perfectly. It seems like it was designed, obviously. They made sure that there was enough space to fit it in, and it fits in perfectly. So I do have one little complaint with these. I wish that right here was a little bit more grippy. It's just textured plastic, so it does get slippery when your hands get sweaty. It would have been nice to have kind of a rubberized texture, but I know that would obviously raise cost, and then you'd have the potential of that peeling off. So I think that's probably why they didn't do it. But it would have been nice to have a little bit more grip than just plastic. So I hope I answered all the questions that you have about this. If you have any more, please leave them below. And yeah, thanks for watching my video.